G'day guys, welcome to part 2 of Q&A. I'm going to answer your questions. I wanted to base today's video off one main question and then answer a couple more questions here and there. But the question was, how do you keep motivated to stay productive? I think it's a ripper of a question. Now, I better give credit where credit is due. So I found a question comes from Justin Stott. It's an awesome question and I'm going to get stuck into answering it. Once again, for clarification here, I did film this and I spat out some fire, but it was too bad because the wind just took over that video and it's unwatchable. So I've written down some notes here from what I recorded earlier on. So I want to give you guys as much fire as I possibly can. So how do you keep motivated to stay productive? One way is doing these vlogs. It's a form of accountability, putting out these vlogs. Who wants to watch a vlog that is, someone sitting around all day? To be honest, that's kind of what I was doing before doing these vlogs. I was a little bit lazy, and this has given me a way to stay productive because I've always got to put out a vlog. I've made the commitment already to put out a vlog every day, and these vlogs have to be somewhat entertaining. I try and have 3 pillars to these vlogs. I know I'm going off course here, but I'm just trying to get out as much as I can. The purpose of these vlogs are either to motivate, educate, or entertain. And if I can do any of those in each episode, then my job is complete, basically. And I find if I'm wanting to achieve those goals, then it has to be productive, and that's a way of being productive. And also, guys, we only have now. Now is the only time that we have. We don't have yesterday, and we don't have the future. We have right now. And when are we going to get this time back? Never. So we need to take opportunity of it. Now, don't get me wrong if this is turning out like a rant or whatever, but it is true. We only have the time that we have right now. And it could be heaps of time for some people, and it could be less time for others. We don't know. So it's better just to take opportunity of the time we have right now, because it's the only time we have, and it is the most valuable thing that we have. Also, I.M commented, he likes being independent, master of his faith, making his own decisions. This is a really good comment too. I didn't quite think about it like this. I do like to be independent and not work for somebody else. That also motivates me because if I'm working for myself, nobody else is going to do it. You're the one that has to rely on you to get stuff done. And if you're working for yourself, then that means that you're the one that has to do it, basically. And to be honest, I just don't like the idea of working for somebody else. And that alone motivates me to get stuff done. And honestly, if you're not going to do it, then who else is if you're working for yourself, right? Also, another way that I get motivated is having sort of the vision board, but it's more so the law of attraction, focusing on these really high goals that I have set for myself, and then seeing where my reality is, and obviously there's a difference there. But if I say, for example, have a goal to save a big amount of money, and then I look at my bank account and it's not there yet, that gives me a kick up the bum to keep working and keep striving to achieve my goals, because I see my reality opposed to what I want to be or where I want to be. And also the law of attraction, if you focus on that bigger number, eventually you'll get there, but of course you have to do the work. You can't just dream and get there. You gotta put work behind it as well, of course. Also, another way I keep motivated is to do something that I'm passionate about. I kind of touched on this before about working for myself. I'm sort of motivated by doing that, but also doing what is passionate, not necessarily if it makes you money or not, just do it because you're passionate about it. I see people go to jobs that they absolutely hate and live a life, and they just live a life where they're miserable all the time. Now, I hate to come off negative here, but it is true. Some people live for the weekend, and it's just the worst thing. I hate seeing people cheer on Friday night or whatever. What are you doing to want to forget about the rest of your week to want to celebrate your life in that Saturday and Sunday? I don't like that feeling. I wake up every day freaking loving my life because that's just the way I want to live. And it's just so true. If you're doing what you love, then it's just going to fuel the fire, and you're just going to want to do it even more. Because if you love the process, you're just going to keep getting stuff done. Also, I am motivated by doing the work, or the hustle, if you want to call it. I feel like I just get more done if I get in a rhythmic mood and just work on doing something. Example, listing some stuff on eBay. If I'm punching out listings, I just get motivated by the process. If I knock down 2 listings, it keeps me motivated to want to do more and more and more. Also, another way I get motivated recently, since being in Thailand, not that Thailand is a bad country or anything, but we're super lucky if you live in Australia, the United States, or these first world countries. You're super lucky and fortunate, and I think we should take opportunity of the opportunity that we have living in these countries, because, for example, Thailand isn't that bad, but there is countries out there that aren't as fortunate, and they don't have opportunities that we have here. Example, Japan and Thailand, they don't really have a resale market. So coming back here and looking at the freaking abundance of op shops and thrift stores that we have here, it just blows my mind. Like, we need to take opportunity of what we have right in front of us. That motivates me alone, because some people don't have that. And that just makes me feel so much more grateful and fortunate for the opportunity. Also, Justin did comment, "You're one of the most productive people I know." Thumbs up to that. Thank you for the comment, Justin. That's awesome. That is another way I feel motivated, is by you guys who leave comments on these videos. When you guys leave these motivational, positive comments, it just makes me feel even more motivated to keep making these videos, because it makes me feel good inside knowing that people are watching these videos and getting some kind of value from it. And if I'm helping somebody, there's like no bigger reward, I feel, by helping somebody. If you're helping someone, when I help people, it just makes me feel even better inside. And that alone is another motivation. Now, there's plenty other ways that I feel motivated to stay productive, but they're kind of the ones that I'd like to touch on today, and I think like the only ones I can really think of on the spot. Also, I did write down a note here, hunger. I think staying hungry is another way of being motivational. Like, I see people talk about this, like big figures and stuff out there. They say, I think it's Dave Ramsey that says, stay hungry. Like, you gotta be hungry. And that's another way to be motivated. Like, you just gotta be hungry. Like, you just want to achieve more and more and more. Never settle for less. Always try and strive for the best. Oh, I just come up with that on the spot. I don't know if it's already taken, but yeah. Hope that answers your question. I'll answer a few more questions in this video though. Now, I'm a little confused because I did answer some of these questions in another video and I can't remember which ones that I haven't answered yet. So next question comes from John, and I believe there's a couple other people that asked this question. It was about the magpies, like why they're swooping and stuff. So John says, "Hey Cody, just what the heck is that bird that dive bombs you while you're riding? It looks big enough to have you for lunch. Pedal faster, lol." I know it's just protecting its territory, but it's kind of a strange behavior. Yeah, so these birds are called magpies, and they go bonkers this time of year. I think they're just protecting their young and protecting their territory, as you said, and they're super protective. If you ride past their nest, they'll swoop you like 2 or 3 times. They'll just come down and just swoop. I don't know if it's their wings hitting the helmet that makes the clicking sound, or if it's something to do with their beak or something, but I think it might be like them hitting like the helmet. A great way to prevent this is putting like cable ties on the helmet, like that, and apparently that works. I think someone else asked a question. This was from Kimbo72. Cable ties on a helmet, do they scare the magpies off somehow, or do they still swoop, but just don't actually hit the helmet? So I'm not sure what the go is with it. I've never tried it, and I see, like, most of the cyclists I see out and about at the moment are wearing cable ties on their helmet, so it must work if everybody else is doing it. So I might jump on the bandwagon and do it myself, and if everybody else is doing it, it may be working, I guess. But yeah, they are absolutely bonkers, these birds. They just go crazy. I don't know if you guys saw in a few vlogs back, there was one bird that like swooped me like 10 times. It wasn't hardcore swooping, but it was just like flying over and just keeping up with me. Like, no matter how fast you pedal, they're still going to keep up with you. Those things can fly like pretty fast. They can definitely fly faster than I can ride a bike, so there's no flying out riding them. You just got to keep riding until they eventually give up swooping and go back to their nest or whatever. But they're pretty crazy birds. Okay, so Anthony asks, how do you haggle these prices? I think you watched the garage sale video where I picked up the Phantom comic books. I know the Savers had 50% off, but the comic books, you got them to come down from $160. So the comic books, I got $100 for them. I believe what I did was I offered them $100 because you got to get it cheap, or else, you know, like if I was only going to double my money on that, so you got to haggle and see if they'll come down. It's like the best way to get the good prices. And I know it's a cutthroat sort of situation, like you're being pretty hard on the person and it's pretty mean, but it's just the way business goes, mate. Anyway, I offered them, would you take $100 for it? And they're like, I'll have to think about it. And they made a deal with me. If you come back later on in the day, like they're finishing their garage sale up at 1 o'clock, if no one buys it, then it's yours. So I gave them my phone number, and exactly on 1 o'clock, they called me up and said, yep, no one's got them. We'll take it for $100. And I was like, deal. So I came back, picked them up, and I tried selling those like individually and stuff. I wasn't so successful. Maybe I sold a couple of books here and there for like $20, $30, but I just decided to just blow it out, and I sold it to a bookstore for $300. So they're probably going to sell them all individually and make profit there, but I also made my $200. So that was pretty good. So Eric Hoffman asks, hey, this is Eric the Fat Man on a Bike from Klamath Falls, I think it is. I was wondering if it is possible that I can get a picture of you. I've been following you since Japan, and I would like to use the picture to show all my subscribers of everyone that has given me motivation to keep on riding bikes, exercise, and to make my life better. My email address is, I'll send you an email. I did message you and say that I'll send it out. I just got a little bit sidetracked, but I'll try and find some pictures for you, and I'll send them over to your email, Eric. So Yossi asks, any tips for Amazon FBA, sending things to the US and eventually using FBA here? There was also another comment from Sumero. What are your tips for someone who wants to get started in Amazon FBA? Thanks for the great content, Cody. So my tips, honestly, I would just say get stuck into it, because there's no better way of learning from actually doing. That's when you're going to learn the most, by making mistakes, to be honest. And I haven't really been doing it for that long to really give that much tips. I guess I would have to think about it and come up with some tips and stuff. But just to say off the bat, I would just say, like, make sure what you're sending out, if you're sending it to America from Australia, it has to be profitable. Like, you want to make it worth the long trip and the costly trip of the 180 or whatever you're going to pay for shipping. You want to make sure, like, your items maybe are like $50 or more, or, you know, 50 Australian dollars or more profit per item. So if you send out 20 of those items, then it's like $2,000. But you want to sort of work around like how much you want to send out, like, per item, just to make it worth it. And once you get that down, you also want to consider the rank of the item as well. Like, if you're selling in the book category, I'd recommend to sell anything under $1 million rank. Typically, if you could list something that's a little bit over $1 million, but say if it's listed at $300 and it's at $1 million ranked, then you could come down and just go real low at like $50 to $100 or something, and it's going to sell quick. Sometimes the rank isn't an indicator of how long it'll sell, depending on if you price it cheaper or not. So I'd just consider the rank as well, and try and get lower ranks so that it's guaranteed to sell faster and eliminate risk as well. But that's basically all the tips I could come up for you guys there. Alright, so let's make this the last question. Comes from Omar. Hey, how do you find your garage sales? Do you just drive around or use some sort of application? So I find it's a good tactic to have a plan, because to be honest, you don't want to be just riding around freestyling. You could do that, and it might be successful for you, but to guarantee the best success, I plan my routes out, get all the addresses, make a list, what times they're opening, and just hit that list. So I haven't been doing garage sailing for quite a while, but when I was doing it, I'd go on Gumtree, because that's where most people put up their garage sales. Now, I'm not sure if there is some kind of app that you can use. I know America has apps for garage sales and stuff. However, we have Garage Sale Trail, which is a weekend garage sale that happens every year. And it's like everybody in Australia decides to put up a garage sale this time. So it's a huge opportunity to hit up garage sales. And they have their own website, which you could use for that weekend. However, I don't think we have any apps yet. If we do and you guys are aware of it, put it down below. I'd love to know. But I use Gumtree, and that's about it, really. I try and search like garage sales. Yeah, that's probably like about it. Maybe I'll go to Facebook groups. Sometimes they have garage sales posted there as well. But what I do is get the addresses and then go from there. But that is it for today's Q&A video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you got some kind of value. Hopefully you were either motivated, educated, or entertained. Thank you guys for watching. Give us a thumbs up for more motivation, and put some comments down below if you want some more questions answered. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.